What's good? It's your boy TRNT, and I'm back one more again. This time I'm back with a year-end roundup of the best 10 podcasts of this year. It's my list, so if y'all got some suggestions on what's the best, please drop a comment. But I want y'all to stay with me to the end so y'all can see what's the best podcast, in my opinion, of 2022. You did? Let's go. Let's check it out. You did? Number 10, bro, is Flagrant 2, you dig? That's this the podcast with Andrew Schultz and Aziz, I believe, and he got his friends Alex Media, who's I guess he's a big media dude. He got his own like media company or whatnot, and I believe he in charge of the studios. But anywho, I like Flagrant. I started off listening to Andrew Schultz from the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and I ended up liking him, which I like his conversation, even though I didn't like him at first, white boy opinion. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? He gives some funny outtakes, but now it's just him and Aziz and his homeboys. They group, they laughter. I just like they vibe, you dig? So that's number 10. Number 9 is Brilliant Idiots. Like I said, I listened to Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club. Been listening to him for the last 13 years. I used to didn't like Charlemagne, but I ended up growing to like him. Same thing for Andrew Schultz. I didn't like him. You know what I mean? And I used to like when Wax is on there. I used to like their producer Chris. I like when Taylor be on there. They got good chemistry, good conversation. And sometimes I feel like an idiot. Sometimes I feel like I'm brilliant. And I like their conversations, dope conversations, good to listen to. It's funny. Like I said, number 10 is Flagrant 2. The only reason I started listening to Flagrant 2 is because Brilliant Idiot. So that's my number 9, man. Tell me what y'all think. Let's continue. Number 8, I got to give it to the 85 South Show. I like them. You know, you heard of Carlos Miller, DC Young, Fly, Chico Bean. Everybody know them from Wild 'N Out, but they created this crew, and they named it after I-85. You know what I'm saying? Could go through from where all they from Mississippi all the way to Georgia to DC, that highway. But I like their chemistry. They funny on Wild 'N Out. It make you feel like you're on the couch with them, chilling, and just you get high, they getting high. They have funny conversations, good guests. Anytime they drop something, I'm listening to it. I like smoking and just watching their stuff or listening to it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 85. And then I knew they was a good podcast because my number 9 choice, Brilliant Idiots, put me on when they was on the Brilliant Idiots podcast. So shout out to them. Shout out to 85 South. Let's keep going. Number 7, I got to get that to Horrible Decisions. This is one of the freaky podcasts, sexual podcasts that I like listening to. The most freakiest things I heard women say and stuff I learned about women in the sexual form come from Weezy, which is, she got her own studio, and Mandy B, she got her own studio. And Weezy and Alex from Flagrant, they got their studio together. But anywho, I like they Horrible Decision topics. I like the guests. They make sex talk seem safe and everything. So these is one of the female podcasts that I like listening to. So they at number 7. You dig? All right, with number 6, we're gonna have to get that to See The Thing Is. Hey man, they started off on Joe Budden network. They was like the female version. They started off, it was 3 of them. They started off as the female version of the Joe Budden podcast. They talk about music. They talk about relationships. These one of the females, I like listening to Bridget Kelly. She sounds like a true New Yorker. Somebody, if you ever go to New York, you want to hang with them type of people, them type of women. She stand firm. And I like the fact that Mandy B is the totally opposite. even though Mandy B be all ghetto and whatever, you know what I'm saying? I like Mandy B personality, honestly, but I like they mixture, they dynamic. These two different type of women to me that found the chemistry, and I fucks with it, you dig? So see, the thing is, come in at number 6. Number 5, continuing with me listening to women, is Angela Yee, Lip Service. I like the original. When I caught on it, it was L'Oreal, it was Angela Yee, Gigi, and Stephanie. And then L'Oreal, I remember Stephanie went missing, and L'Oreal was there. They always had good chemistry. And then L'Oreal left, and Angela Yee brought her other friends in there. But I like female. They the main ones talk about relationship and sex, and it's good to see Angela Yee outside of the Breakfast Club, see her, you know what I'm saying, her vibe and everything. Like, she a low-key freak. I like Gigi got a story. Like she said, the P-Valley story is most of her life, you know what I'm saying? And Stephanie is one of them fine models and they just real. They some real New Yorkers, too, you know what I'm saying? So these, the top females I listen to, they probably my favorite female podcast. Top podcast. They number 5, you dig? All right, at number 4, I give it to $1 million worth of game, bro. Willie the Kid or I said Willie the Kid, my fault. Gillie the Kid and Gillie the King, or Gillie the King, whichever one y'all want to call him. And Wallow, they got a cousin dynamic. They like this, and then they like linking up with the young rappers. If I check out a young rapper, it's because of them. I like listen to their podcast. It's straight real, it's raw. One of my favorites. Anytime they drop something, I'm gonna watch it, tune into it. Even if I'm not watching, I'm listening. And the only reason I mention watching it because I'll be at home and everything, and they be playing on my TV. But I gotta catch them. They funny, they keep it real, and I like they dynamic. Obviously, they number 4. You dig? All right, number 3 is Drink Champs. I know they won BET Best Podcast Award, which is very deserving. And when it comes to the numbers and everything, yes, they one of the top podcasts, not only in hip hop scene but just in the world. They tie with Carisha Please, which is technically a podcast, but I agree with them. Carisha Please only had like 4 or 5 episodes at the time. She just getting her feet wet, but $1 million worth of game is real conversation. Them the best conversations. Cause regardless, any person who having a podcast, they drinking at the table. They made this a couple of years ago about drinking. I want to start a podcast, and I want drinking and smoking involved. And that's the real vibe. You get the real honesty, especially when somebody drinking. The real laughter is fun. To me, it's top. That's why they number 3. You dig? This might be surprising. Number 2 is the new Rory and Mal. The reason they number 2 is because Rory is like, he's 32, I'm 33. I'm just like probably a year older than him, but he's around my age. And Mal remind me of my friends. He remind me of my homeboys. He a little older, like some of my homeboys. Debs and him and Rory conversations is kind of like how me and my partner, who I always hang with, be. And then I like the background from they cast. I forget their names, but I like hearing their voices add into them. I like that Rory and Mal bounced back after the breakup. I did videos about their breakup with Joe Budden. I learned about them from Joe Budden. And also, I didn't like when Mal was hating on the Breakfast Club and he had his thing with Charlamagne, but I grew, not saying I never liked Mal, but I didn't like the hating part on Charlamagne because I respected Charlamagne so much. And with that being said, the Breakfast Club would be my number 1 but I don't consider them a podcast. But with that being said, let's tune into the But before I give y'all the number 1, let me give y'all some honorable mentions. These some podcasts that I listen to. Shout out to the one with Wax and L'Oreal. They got a podcast called Bully and the Beast. I love that podcast. Who else we got? Corey Holcomb. He got a podcast. He really got a live stream, which is kind of a podcast. Come on every Tuesday. I check for that all the time, but it's not technically a podcast. I Am Athlete. I like the Athlete podcast. Matt Barnes and what's it called? All the Smoke. I like The Pivot. I hate that The Pivot is a thing that happened when I Am Athlete and them guys broke up. A lot of these podcasts been breaking up, and I've been talking about the podcast wars on my channel. So with that being said, y'all ready for the number one? Let's talk about it. So if I listed New Rory and Mal as number two, the only thing that's better, the best podcast to me is the Joe Budden Network. The reason why, because I was invested when it was Rory and Mal, and I liked their whole dynamic. But when they broke up, I ain't like the breakup, but I stayed watching Joe Budden. A lot of people fell off. I didn't like nothing Joe Budden had going on with his network. I liked the fact he was working, he was doing this, he was on Everyday Struggle. I liked Joe Budden on the stuff he had with Remy Ma, on that show he had, and State of the Culture. But I never stopped watching or listening to the Joe Budden podcast when Rory and Ma left. And then the fact Ish is like my dude, bro. I mean, I like Ish, I like Ice, you know what I'm saying? I like they conversations is dope as fuck. And like, I'm recommending all these because these is my personal favorite. I think they the top 10, not only podcasts that I like, but I think they the top 10 podcasts out there if you like a podcast listener. But I don't want to keep on talking. I just want to know what y'all think about y'all podcasts. What podcasts are y'all checking it out? What podcasts are y'all listening to? What's y'all top 10? Even if y'all don't want to do a top 10, give me y'all top 5, y'all top 3, or recommend me some more podcasts. If y'all like my list, let me know if my list is okay with y'all. Let me know how y'all would change my list. You know what I'm saying? I want to know everything. And then let's recommend each other to some more podcasts, everybody. But anywho, subscribe to my channel. If y'all new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, help it grow. I'm doing some more top 10 in the 2020. We're going to document the end of 2022. So my next video I'm going to do is the top 10 songs of 2022. And I'm trying to I'm trying to give it a week or two before I do the top 10 albums, because I still got to react to SZA album tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to react to SZA album tonight, and I don't know who albums coming out towards this end of this year that can be in title. I already got my top 10 list already put together. It's just the fact that I don't know if there's going to be new music that could join that list, even though it'd be too late. I'm trying to decide. But anywho, it's going to be more top 10 videos at the end of the year. More music reactions coming. And I do drink liquor, so I'm going to do more liquor reactions coming next year. And more, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, we headed to 2023. Hopefully, y'all, some things might change. We're going to do this at the end of next year, too. So we're going to see how this list holds up. You dig? I'll catch y'all the next time.